we are very excited to play the first match of the eFootball.Pro. It's going to be against a team with familiar players, including Meroman and Mike Almatador. Same players as last season, but just a great addition with Roma. I'm feeling quite comfortable with my teammates, how we play now. So I expect at least to win one game at least, and we're aiming to get 6 points.
Yeah, we practice a lot for this match. We are ready for the first match day. We won't show the good performance, better performance like last year.
Yeah, so they are the two teams, Arsenal versus Schalke 04. And Harry, of course, as we may get to see some of the behind the scenes of how they're setting up, just while we're waiting on that, Schalke have had, of course, the one change with Roma coming in, and Arsenal a clean sweep with Indominator, Indojua, and, of course, Barbosa coming in from Boavista last season.
Yeah, Barbosa especially is a player that's really stood out for Boavista last season, was the captain, and despite Boavista's place in the league, they were in the lower half of the table. Barbosa was actually in the top 3 leading goal scorers league-wide. That just goes to show how valuable of a player he was, and he joins this Arsenal team with Indojua and Indominator, of course, twin brothers previously playing for Celtic, and they go up against Schalke, who after some relatively decent performances in the early iterations of the eFootball.Pro, seem to have just fallen off the gas a little bit. They bring in the Romanian Irma, the first Romanian player to compete in the eFootball.Pro League, who is a solid player in his own right. Made it to the semi-finals of Euro 2020 with Romania previously in the year. So 2, in my eyes, improved lineups from these two clubs. I think Arsenal last year had a decent lineup, but they just never got to grips with each other. They never really gelled in the best way possible. I think this Arsenal team has a real chance to do just that here in this match.
Yeah, I can't say I disagrey, because, of course, as intrigued as I am to see how Irma fits into Schalke 04's lineup with, of course, El Matador and Merriman, who, two players who have been there and done it at the highest level for many, many years. It's that Arsenal lineup that really interests me, because not only have you got Indominator and Indojua, who have played together, brothers, of course, so many times, they play some really attractive football, and of course Barbosa is a similar sort of character, and I could see him gelling into that lineup fantastically, as if he was there all along, and some of the football that I'm expecting, they're probably going to be awful now, but I'm expecting some really, really nice, attractive football from them.
Yeah, I expect to see the same, and it's a team that sort of fits the Arsenal philosophy, doesn't it? With Indominator and Indojua just sort of playing that sort of tactician role and dictating the midfield. I think if you get the ball to Barbosa in that final third, I think you have a real chance of scoring lots of goals this season. We saw it with Boavista last year. He was scoring goals in bunches, and that's why he's earned his place on the North London club's lineup for this season.
He has indeed, and he was also one of the most animated players of eFootball.Pro last season. If they were to score, and he's on the end of it, you can bet your bottom dollar that he will be up dancing around the room as the ball gets played in towards Willian, and it's a fast start here from Arsenal. Aubameyang goes down. Surely a penalty. Referee says absolutely nothing. And Schalke 04 survive a very early scare. Was that a penalty for you, Harry?
Oh, I'm not sure. It's one of those 50-50 ones, isn't it? I think El Matador, the man is who did the tackle, very, very lucky to come away without giving one of those spot kicks away. But we've seen 2 penalties today so far, Adam. Both of them have been missed. So I'm not sure a penalty is what you want so far here in the eFootball.Pro.
Absolutely not, as Barbosa tried that eye of a needle through ball there, and it almost paid off, but smuggled away by a strong German outfit. Of course, Schalke 04, not known for necessarily their attacking exploits last season, the way they played. Slightly more resolute and, solid team. Not a huge amount of goals. Do you think we might see something similar this year from the trio from Schalke?
Yeah, I think that's one of the main reasons you freshen up the lineup, right? You bring in Irma over goal as Arsenal here have a real chance, but it will just trickle through to the Schalke goalkeeper. I think that's the reason you make the switch, right? It just seemed to stagnate a little bit in the attacking sense of PES. You bring in Irma, who had a resounding performance at the Euros, European Championships earlier on this year, and well, that just goes to show you get the results on the big stage. It doesn't matter what competition it is, then the rest of the e-footballing world is going to take notice, and Irma is obviously going to try and turn around those fortunes here for Schalke, because as we said, the attacking knife for Schalke just seemed to have been blunted towards the latter stages of the season. We'll see if Irma can sharpen things up once again.
Indeed, as Barbosa just unable to keep the ball in play, and the goal kick to be taken by Merriman and up towards and over the halfway line. David Luiz with a backward header and almost put his teammate in all sorts of problems. And just when we were alluding to this, as I said, I gave them the kiss of death at the start of this game, this beautiful football we were going to see from Arsenal. It's not quite gone that way so far in the opening 20 minutes or so. There's a few misplaced passes, Harry, a few nerves possibly.
Just like the real life Arsenal, isn't it? Really attractive football until you put the back four under a bit of pressure. So maybe that's the target here for Schalke.
Careful, you might have a few Arsenal fans in the comments after that one, as the ball gets played up towards the halfway line, and Mascarell now finds Harper now. Schuller, and real momentum building here for Schalke 04. Chance to possibly get the shot away. This is really good football here from Schalke. Good defending in the end, though, from Arsenal. But at one point, it looked like the goalkeeper was going to be tested. But as of yet, he hasn't been, as hooked in towards, and Sokratis blocks and out for a corner as Saka now comes across to block that initial early ball in towards that near post. And it's gone towards a penalty spot, headed away, down, and a chance for Maitland-Niles to clear his lines. It is Barbosa again, who's been involved in everything good so far that Arsenal have been producing, and it's him again here as he controls Willian, looks up to the right-hand side, almost slipped it through to Indominator by the looks of that, but smuggled away again. And now a chance here for Irma, and it's just got a little bit cagey and a bit scrappy, Harry.
Yeah, just speaking to where's our touchline reporter, if you will. We miss you, buddy. Hopefully we can get you back on the eFootball programme soon. He seems to think that this is poised to be a really even match, despite what the possession said just then, 71% in Arsenal's favour. I think he's right. We've seen more attacking out of Schalke than I seem to remember for some match days in last season. So hopefully they can continue that form.
Absolutely. Is a chance for Ludwig, and now David Luiz intercepts, and chance for Schalke again. It's been a promising start from the German outfit. They've not really created any inroads in that attacking third, but they've been pretty assured at the back, and they've limited Arsenal here. Saka plays it out towards his left-hand side. Kolasinac now finds Willian, whipped in towards Aubameyang, and that is all they need, the one chance, and it's Captain Fantastic, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and he pokes the ball into the near post, and I mean, that was true Arsenal football there, Harry.
The new look Gunners are underway. They've opened their tally, and we spoke about them last season being nowhere near where we expect them to be in the eFootball.Pro League. They've made a complete overhaul of this lineup, and look at Barbosa in the middle. I'm pretty sure we could hear him screaming from where we are all the way in the UK, Adam. It's Inda Jawa, the goal scorer. Sometimes the forgotten man of the Celtic FC lineup last year. Didn't really have a platform to star, was almost the the bridesmaid, never the bride, but now he opens the tally for the Gunners, and well, they're looking to come forward here again.
He absolutely does. As you said, often it's his brother who gets a lot of the talk, but he's sometimes just as important, especially in the co-op teams that he plays in, just knitting everything together, similar to a Luca possibly in the Eterito duo that we've seen over the last 3 or 4 years or so as the ball gets hacked away. And it's finished at the end of the first half, Harry. Arsenal 1-0 to the Arsenal, the famous old saying.
Well, it's exactly where you want to be, and it's fascinating. I would love to hear what Schalke have to say here just for a moment and see what the mood is in this Schalke camp. Every time I say that, Adam, they stop speaking.
I was just going to say that. And I could carry on talking, but I often leave it just for that embarrassing silence after you say they're going to talk and they don't.
Oh no. Well, I was wondering what the mood was like. You know what we can take away from it? Maybe the mood is a little bit muted, and maybe they're a bit down on themselves. Maybe they're thinking, oh, it's another long season ahead for us here. But it's still game one of a 2-game series. There's still points to be had here. And Schalke, for territory-wise, they were getting corners. They weren't fashioning clear-cut chances, but they were putting the Arsenal defence under a bit of pressure. And we saw that earlier on with Juventus when they were struggling to get any clear-cut chances. All they did was put the ball in a dangerous area, and well, Matchday turned the ball into his own goal. So maybe that's something that Schalke can maybe learn from in the earlier match here on Matchday 1.
Yeah, the only thing that will concern me looking on here for Schalke is it's got a very similar feeling. And I know we've only played 45 minutes, a long way to go, of course, not only in this game and this match day and the season ahead, but very solid at the back, you know, not giving away too many chances, but a little bit unable to create too many big goal-scoring chances. And of course, relying on being completely 100% ultra-clinical almost at times.
Well, yeah, I remember speaking in a post-game interview last season with Mike Linden, of course, El Matador from Schalke, and they were quite frustrated with the personnel they have at their disposal on Schalke, you know, almost begging their real-life club to sign some players. But, I mean, you have to get the most out of your players in this kind of situation, don't you? All the teams are stat-balanced. It's just about trying to find that one player who's going to make the difference for you. And, well, right now, Schalke, they've been unable to find that one player in their virtual squad. Maybe it's time for one of the players holding the controllers to step up for them.
Yeah, and it didn't seem like they were too experimental either, both from a formation or a personnel point of view either last season. They sort of stuck to a fairly rigid system. And at times, it was clear that something else might be needed as Pepe pokes the ball wide, and a second goal could really be that killer goal here for Arsenal. But just going back to Schalke, yeah, it just felt like possibly they might need to try a slight change, and it may be something that we may see this season.
That should have been 2-0, Adam, for me. I think Dominator has just missed an absolute gilt-edged chance to double the lead and maybe put Arsenal out of sight here in the second half. That was a really solid chance. 6 yards out, you've got to put those away and at least challenge the keeper, maybe try and get a ricochet. But well, we're writing Schalke off as if there's no time left in the game. There's still half an hour left, still some of those substitutions, tactical changes to be made, and we know the type of tactician that Dominator is. I've seen his YouTube videos, and he certainly believes in this 5 at the back system that they're operating here, and well, it's working well for them so far because it's nullified the attack from Schalke.
We are winning. We know that now.
So here's the first chance to see whether Schalke do anything of note. Just a few positional tweaks at the moment, and Arsenal possibly looking to change some personnel.
Okay. They have changed.
Position go all the way back with the defense. all the way to the touchline. No problem, man. Make it big. Make the pitch big, man. They have to run. They have to press. They have to score, man. We don't have to score. Come on.
Yeah, they are with 3-4-3, man.
Keep the pitch as wide as possible. And big. Come on.
Ja, drücken doch in die Innenverteidigung, dann tust du Sané, DMF und Dingens ZMF. So,
Well, it's
what would you do here, Harry?
Contrast in the two team talks. I'm hearing from El Matador on one side, Adam. He said, we have nothing in attack, which is why now you're seeing these personnel changes come in. And, of course, the formation change to the 3-4-3 as well. On the other side, in Dominator, reading this game perfectly, he said, let's make this pitch as wide as possible. They have to press us. They have to score. So just keep it wide. There'll be gaps available. And they still have that 5 at the back that they are rocking here on the pitch. It's worked well for them so far in the opening virtual hour on the pitch. And they actually subbed off their right back as well. So there's going to be fresh legs on the overlap down that right-hand side. So just keep an eye out on that far side for Schalke. Could be Hector Bayern maybe sneaking in behind a couple of times.
Absolutely. Fresh legs for Arsenal. And, of course, we'll be playing very much, you would imagine, on the counter-attack as the game draws into this final, crucial last third. We've seen not a massive amount of goal-mouth action, but it's been tactically intriguing more than anything, seeing how these two teams cope with the added pressures of the new-look eFootball.Pro season as Omar Mascarell plays it forwards, and Schalke just looking to build, but again that final pass, the final moment to pull the trigger or produce that moment of magic on the acute passes just doesn't quite come off, and the ball's out of play for a throw on this near touchline. 70 minutes gone, and it's Kolasinac who is wasting a bit of time, Harry.
Yeah, interesting. I still think that right-hand side for Arsenal is going to be so potent with Pepe and Bayern, which is why we're seeing Arsenal try and play more towards that side. But if I'm Schalke, I look at that previous stat that just popped up. I think it was only 67 or 61% pass accuracy so far. That stat is not a winning stat. I know goals count more than pass statistics, but when you can't even fashion 2 or 3 passes in a row, you're never going to fashion a chance to maybe score one of those goals.
Yeah, that was a really good defensive interception there, I think, from Merriman, the captain. But I mean, that lack of passing accuracy. Do you make the excuse of the players, or is it the people controlling them? I mean, what are we talking here? Do they have anything to stand on that department?
I think
surely that's just simple ability on the ball.
Yeah, you have to put it down to user error, don't you? I mean, these are stat balance modes, you know, the uniform ratings. So it's all about what the player with the controller can do. We can see again there a poor decision made. I mean, why are you trying to pass to a player who is quite clearly marked? So it's going to be a foul on Bayern. So a bit of pressure relieved for Arsenal. We just need to see some better decisions being made from Schalke 04 going forwards.
9 minutes remaining. Still just the 1-0 on the scoreline to the North London club. As David Luiz just plays the ball up to the left-hand side. Kolasinac, ever since that substitution of Hector Bellerin, we haven't seen too much on that flank that Harry was promising. I'm awaiting it yet, my man, as the ball's played through the middle. A real chance here for Schalke 04. He's onside, surely 1-1, and he's put it wide of the target. And he's only got himself to blame, because that right there is a huge, huge opportunity. We talk about gilt-edged chances, but as it hits the stanchion, it should have been hitting the back of the net, Harry.
Wonderful build-up from Schalke. Those are the type of passes we need to see from them. Great combination play, but Irma, the new man, the first Romanian player in eFootball.Pro. There was your opportunity to make yourself a virtual Schalke, I don't want to say legend because it would only be the equaliser, but well, there was a real chance to maybe snatch a point from this game. I'm not sure how many more chances like that you're going to get here against Arsenal.
4-4-2 formation.
That was the moment. 5 minutes remaining. And Arsenal haven't really threatened too much, other than that one chance they had to make it 2-0, which again, similar to that one just then, they should have really taken. It's been a fairly even game, and a 1-1 scoreline wouldn't have necessarily flattered Schalke, but again, poor finishing, that poor final pass or action has cost them again there.
It has, and well, Arsenal here trying to make the pitch as wide as possible. I think Indejawa was just hoping that his player, I think it was Willian there, would lock onto the ball, but there's a bit of respite here for Schalke, and well, you need to start throwing bodies forward because time's ticking down. 90th minute.
Oh, it's a mistake. Given straight away. Saved by the goalkeeper again, and it's another moment where you feel he should have gone towards that far post. He's tried to rifle it home, and he's saved by the goalkeeper. And now, much like we saw all those years ago in the Championship, the ball went down the other end and into the back of the net. But on this occasion, it's just the 1-0 scoreline. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang with a captain's goal, and just about shaded the game, Harry.
Just about, indeed. Barbosa with a fabulous last-second save for Arsenal. It was a low-scoring game, just the 1 goal, low chances as well, as we saw there. But, well, there were chances in it for Schalke. And, well, that was a very well-rounded result from Arsenal. They'll be happy with that. And the lads, they look happy. I saw Dominator with a massive smile on his face. Thanks to his twin brother's goal in the 42nd minute. They have now 3 points on the table. No matter what happens in this second game, they're up into second place in the league.
Absolutely. And what's quite interesting about Arsenal here is that these sort of results, these games that were so tight last year for Dominator in Indejawa, they were on the receiving end, and now they've got 3 points on the board.
Yeah, great result from them. They obviously are a little bit more confident maybe in the way that they are drilled with Barbosa coming in. We haven't still seen his attacking prowess so far, Barbosa, but he's made a couple of really good saves and clearances at the back, Barbosa, and that's a role that Horcher for Celtic last season certainly seemed to fill. So I think Barbosa recognises, he needs to do defensive work on this Arsenal squad as well as chiming in with the goals, just like he did last season with Boavista. But I think they'll be very happy with that 1-0 win. It's a winning start for Arsenal in the 2021 season.
Indeed. The question is, how does Schalke respond here, Harry? Because they were well in the game. It was a very even contest. They had one huge opportunity, but outside of that, not a lot. Do they go with a similar mindset and try and just be more clinical and nick the game in a very tight contest, or do they change it up and play much more on the front foot?
I actually think, and it feels so strange to say this on Matchday 1, but I think Schalke are at a bit of a crossroads here. I think this defines the rest of their season. When you look at the calibre of player in the eFootball.Pro League, the big teams you still have to play, Barcelona, Bayern Munchen, Juventus, AS Roma, AS Monaco, there's still so many heavy hitters in the league that you've yet to play. You would maybe argue that this Arsenal team is a bit of an unknown quantity, so we don't know how good they really are. It's a team you should be taking some points away from if you're Schalke, if you want to be towards the top end of the table come the end of the season. So I think this game too it's going to be very telling as to where Schalke end up at the end of the season. They could completely prove me wrong. They could match up stylistically very well against some of the bigger clubs, but on paper, Adam, you would say that Arsenal is one of the this is no disrespect to them, but maybe arguably one of the weaker teams in the league. But so far, they've grounded out a result in game 1, and they've got the 3 points. So for me, Schalke need to turn up in a big way. I think they need to go and prove to Arsenal that they're going to come at them and be a bit more attacking. That's something that Schalke have lacked. I mean, we even heard from El Matador in the team communication last game. We've got nothing in attack. So if they can prove that they can string together those passes and be more clinical up front, then yeah, we could maybe see a bit more of an aggressive strategy coming out of them here in the second game against Arsenal.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Equally, I could flip that on the other side. And from an Arsenal point of view, were you a little bit disappointed with what you saw? Yes, they got the 3 points, but they didn't necessarily turn up and boss large parts of the game against, again, on paper, a team that you wouldn't necessarily expect to be right at the top of this competition as things stand. Did we see enough from them to say that they could go all the way and win this competition? Or is it just simply too early to say?
I think it might be a little too early to say. You could use the Monaco mentality and say, yeah, you know what? We didn't play as well as maybe we could have, but the 3 points are 3 points. So, and that's the mentality that champions have. If you keep winning games, if you're Arsenal, obviously you're going to propel yourself further and further up the table, and that's going to be their goal, obviously. But would like to see more free-flowing attacking football from them, but I don't think this is the Arsenal we're going to see this season. I think knowing how Dominator likes to set up his teams with that 5 at the back, it's very much stop the attack first and then we'll think about going forwards.
Absolutely. As the ball's played out towards that left-hand side with Maitland-Niles, 1 down, and now a chance here for Schalke 04 for the first shot of this second game. But it's trickled all the way through to the goalkeeper, who smashes the ball out towards Saka on the left-hand side, and now space is opened up here through the middle for Arsenal as Aubameyang has the overlap from Pepe and Maitland-Niles. It's back to Aubameyang. First chance for Arsenal. Great defending in the end. But then ricochets up and out for a corner, and it didn't quite match up to the initial interception. Chance here for Arsenal. Whipped in, headed away. Only as far as Galatasaray. We've seen them pop goalwards from here, but he consolidates possession out towards Pepe. And now looking for Ceballos, and then up towards Hop, and straight up and intercepted by Kolasinac. And it's been a topsy-turvy start to this second game, a game that is so crucial for both these teams, but you'd have to say possibly more so for Schalke, as Aubameyang is dispossessed and a chance for the Germans to bring it away. Harry?
I've been impressed with what I've seen so far out of Merriman defensively. He's been reading the play very well from the opposition, but again, it's just these passes in the midfield by El Matador. He's trying to try and shove the ball through the Arsenal midfield, and you need to pick your spot a little bit better.
Hop crossed in from the right hand side, big header down to the feet of the goalkeeper. Fantastic save. But anywhere either side of the goalkeeper, and that is 1-0. He got great contact. He got it down. He did the hard work. And now the goalkeepers missed the punch, but they clear the lines. Harry, another chance comes and goes for Schalke.
Yeah, difficult one to turn away, but Merriman getting on the end of the Irma cross. That's a nice link-up play. Schalke fans, I think, will be hoping for more of that in the season to come. The new man, Irma, with a really nice cross, actually, to find the head of his teammate. We'll see if they can do it again.
We were questioning what sort of Schalke 04 we would see in this second game, and they look to be responding with the latter, i.e. the one taking the game to Arsenal. Of course, in doing so, they will leave themselves vulnerable to that North London counter-attack as they keep possession, and now Saka gives the ball away. One back by the blue and white of Schalke, who seem to be surging forward in numbers here. They really sense that this might be the moment to take the competition by storm, but yet again, that final pass is eluding them as Aubameyang now picks it up. Back to Pepe. Nicolas Pepe gives it back to Aubameyang, given away, one back by Saka. Chance here for Willian, if he can play it through to him, he can't. He goes back to Pepe. Great defending again there, I think, from El Matador, just to push the Arsenal attacker away, legally, of course. But a promising sign there for Arsenal.
Promising indeed. Schalke seem to be again, trying to play a little bit of route one. It is working out for them. They're getting close to the goal, and there are spaces in that midfield area you can see. So maybe you're banking on a bit of a mistake from Arsenal for a chance like this.
Oh, it's in the post. A stunning effort from Schalke 04, and it's another chance that comes and goes for the big German club. He got in front of the defender, he planted it towards that near post, and it's hit the woodwork. And I mean, how many more chances will they get, Harry? Because that's another one.
Yeah, it's Irma again. It could have been a dream start, a dream debut for him here on match day one. That's two big opportunities he's missed. I don't want to say sitters because you still have to finish them, but, well, if you do finish them, then Schalke are in a very different position than they are right now. Obviously, the big one in game one would have got them, or stolen them, at least a point. And that one right there to go into the lead, that was, one he should have turned away.
Weak finish that from Aubameyang as it opened up on his left foot. Usually, you'd expect him to at least test the goalkeeper more than he did. It's an easy save in the end, but Schalke now back in possession. It's been a much more impressive performance from Schalke, but crucially, it's still 0-0. And when things aren't going for you, the worrying trend is if you miss your chances, massive cliche, you will be punished. And let's hope for their sake that isn't the case as they come forward again, but won back by Galatasaray. And now Pepe plays it up towards the halfway line. And the referee brings the first half to an end, and it's been, I mean, it's a 0-0, but it doesn't feel it, Harry.
It doesn't, and part of the reason it feels that way is because of the way that Schalke are playing. They seem to be trying to string those passes together. I don't think that style of play is working out for them so far. They are becoming a little bit telegraphed, and we've seen a couple of times where Arsenal have threatened to hit them on the counter because of a misplaced pass trying to enter the final third. So I maybe continue with that kind of route one football that's been helping them out, trying to force the issue and maybe force some Arsenal defenders into some mistakes. Yes, they do have that five at the back, so there are extra bodies for them there. But those wing-backs playing very, very attacking. They're happy to overlap, so maybe exploit the areas down the wing if you are Schalke. But I'd be surprised if this game ends 0-0. I really do. I feel like there's a goal in it for either club here.
Out towards his right-hand side, Maitland-Niles now finds Pepe. And now Socrates plays it back to Macy. David Luiz, keep ball here from Arsenal. Are they happy with 4 points here, Harry, from the two games, if it stayed like this?
I think maybe they would. Maybe coming into today, they would have liked all 6, but I think the way that Schalke have set up, the way they've been really tenacious and happy to clear the ball away and not give any massive mistakes at the back away, I think maybe you take the 4 points.
.54 minutes on the clock. As you can see, Los Candales still top of the goal-scoring charts with three. And the ball is in an offside position. David Luiz. And Kolasinac out towards Maitland-Niles on this right-hand side. Aubameyang is support, as is Pepe, but one back by Schalke, and they start to build again. They've not really made any inroads in this second half like they did in the first. Hopefully they can be more clinical if they get that chance, as the overlap comes now on this left-hand side. Again, a solid performance there from Indominator defensively to make that interception.
Yeah, really, really solid. I'm glad you spotted it, because double tackle, he'll be disappointed with his distribution after that, but they let off with the throw-in. Really, really nice defensive work. And it's these same substitutions coming in again for Arsenal. I believe Bayern coming on at right back. He'll be looking to overlap and try and exploit Schalke as they come forward. But You can see Schalke on the right-hand side just comparing some statistics between some of their players. I'm not sure they know the full extent of the squad they have at their disposal, or whether or not they're just kind of comparing whether or not they want to bring on a certain player. Let's listen to the Arsenal boys.
So you always have to make a decision, but now we only have one.
So words from Indominator there. Couldn't quite catch the beginning of that. But it's been a less than hugely impressive performance from them so far in the second game, as Willian tries to get on the end of it. They're just kind of going through the motions, it feels, at the moment, just trying to stay in the match and possibly nick something.
Well, it's not set the league on fire, has it, this performance? I said I feel there's a goal in this second half. I still feel that way as Schalke get more and more desperate maybe to try and get a goal and steal these 3 points away. And well, they're coming forward here.
Oh, well, he's in here. Away from David Luiz, a right foot shot, and they've got their goal with the performance deserved. They've been on the front foot. They've taken the game to Arsenal like they didn't do in the first game. And they've got their just rewards, Harry. Finally, they have a goal in the second season of eFootball.Pro.
Captain fantastic. Merriman with a really neat finish. Some defensive midfield, whatever you want to say, frailties from Arsenal. It pops all the way through to Merriman, the third season representing Schalke 04 alongside El Matador for Merriman. And, well, it's a clinical finish, isn't it? It's something that we didn't see from them in the first game, Adam. They had their chances. They just didn't tuck them away. They didn't put them to bed and read them a good night's story. Well, Merriman right there has made absolutely sure. And now that changes the complexion of this second half completely. I fully expect Arsenal maybe to abandon that five at the back and maybe add another player into the midfield, or bring on some new players. Looks like Lacazette is coming on here for Arsenal. So this should really open up in this final 20 or so in-game minutes.
Yeah, you mentioned about the good night story being read. This is turning into a little bit of a nightmare here for Arsenal. They've been incredibly passive in this second game, waiting for a mistake, you feel, from Schalke to pounce and possibly nick a goal. But the game is completely reversed to what we saw in the opening 90 minutes, where it was Arsenal that were doing all the movements in that final third.
Impetus certainly on Arsenal now. Obviously, they don't have much to lose from this point. They've already got 3 points in the bag, and you get another goal if you're Arsenal in this second game, then you take 4 points. But they would not like Schalke to be joining them on 3 points after this first match day in the league table. They certainly will want to try and get this equaliser, and there is the confirmation of the captain of Schalke 04 scoring that goal, Merriman. Well done, my friend.
Well, there could be a second goal here for Schalke. Save on the goalkeeper. Turn towards goal. Brilliant stop from Socrates. That turned home at the far post. And they've got a second goal, like a West London bus or a North London bus. It's 2-0. 2 in a minute.
Look, now I press.
Yeah, the double-barreled sucker punch from Schalke 04. It's Merriman again, with not only the first shot to force the block, it's the finish as well to score his second. He could be on for a match ball here if Arsenal aren't careful. The finish into an open net after the block, and look at the reaction. That's just pure relief. We see Merriman there just brush the forehead, brush some sweat away. That relieves a bit of pressure on them now. That means Arsenal have to come even further forward. What a performance by the captain. When we're thinking about Schalke being at a crossroads going into the rest of the season, Merriman steps up and they could get a third.
Well, they've got the bit between the teeth now. They are swarming all over Arsenal. The Gunners under severe pressure here, being gunned down from all angles. And now Hector Bellerin joins the attack. Chance to peg Schalke back. A crucial 15 minutes, because now Schalke have to go from taking the game to Arsenal to consolidating and stopping chances going the other way, and they've been unable to do it, and it's turned home by yet another captain. It's Aubameyang, the goal scorer. And just when you thought Schalke were going to be heading for all 3 points, they've been undone from a corner, which you would not expect, knowing how resolute they are defensively.
Yeah, 3 Schalke players all going for the same ball. It was confusion. No one put a name on it, apart from Indominator captain's performance. And there you go. There's the 1 goal back. It's now just about getting another one. I tell you what, it's a good thing that Merriman got that second goal. Yeah, it's a good thing that the sucker punch happened, because, well, instead of it being 1-1, now obviously it is 2-1 and Arsenal still have things to do. But Schalke, how is your game management? It's going to be a tough 15 minutes for them. I mean, 3 goals we've seen in this second half already. I said there were goals, Adam. I wasn't lying to you.
Yeah, I did enjoy your mathematics there. It was nice to hear you sort of go through the score lines after that second goal. It was very quick maths, yeah. Generally, when you do score a second goal, it does mean it harder to equalise. But nevertheless, we digress. We move on. Of course, I did mention that there was 15 minutes for Arsenal to grab 2 goals. Now it is just the 1, so a lot of time still for the equalising goal, and Schalke just feeling a little bit more nervy now as they give the ball away again in that final third and whack down towards the right-hand side with Pepe. Well, he's in acres of space here. If they can utilise him, support through the middle from Aubameyang. Just rushed that pass, though, had possibly time to draw the defender out, move the ball into the area. And now Reece Nelson finds Aubameyang, challenged by Kabak, and played forwards. Another lovely one-touch pass there in towards Katushu and out towards Schuller. Plays it across the face towards the back post and turned home. A stunning counter-attack. Something we haven't seen from Schalke 04 many times before in the eFootball.Pro League. But it's worked an absolute treat there, Harry.
Yes, it has. El Matador, take a bow. This goal is all yours, my friend. I know he was set up in the box, but 2 clearances back-to-back in his own half. He makes the clearance, the ball comes back at them, makes a tackle, and then sets Schalke off on the counter. And he gets his reward. I was very critical of El Matador in the first game, had a poor passing performance, but tell you what, the sliding finish and the tackles and the clearances before it, that goal is all El Matador. 3 points, surely now going back to the Gelsenkirchen region of Germany. And, well, they've deserved it, Adam.
Yeah, they have indeed. From start to finish, they've taken the game to Arsenal. Ludwig there with the killer goal to give them that cushion. So even a goal now for Arsenal would mean absolutely nothing. And it's 3 points apiece. And believe it or not, that would put both Arsenal and Schalke 04 above Juventus and above Bayern Munchen, Harry.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. 3 points apiece. That's much more entertaining than I would argue that we saw from both clubs for the entirety of the last season. 3-1, 4 goals